Hello Lions, today we are going to read the launch text for Unit 4, which is the topic of star-crossed romances. And our launch text is an example of an argumentative text, a type of writing in which an author states and defends a position on a topic. This is the type of writing you will develop in your performance-based assessment at the end of the unit, which is your essay. As you read, look at the way the writer builds a case. Mark the text to help you answer the question, what is the writer's position and what evidence supports it? This is the title of the launch text, Romeo and Juliet, a tragedy or just a tragic misunderstanding. When you use the title for your parenthetical citation or in your essay writing, you will put the title in quotation marks. We do not know the author of this text. Paragraph 1. The main characters of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet have long inspired audiences' pity. For hundreds of years, people have watched as the two characters meet, fall in love, and, both heartbroken, take their last breaths. While the play's ending is tragic, the famous lovers' deaths are the result of their own impulsive decisions. Romeo and Juliet were not destined to die in each other's arms. That outcome was not inevitable. Instead, their own bad decisions brought them to that terrible point. Paragraph 2. When the play begins, the city of Verona is being battered by a rivalry between two important families, the House of Montague and the House of Capulet. Swordsmen from both families hurl insults at one another and fight in the streets. Romeo, the son of the head of the Montagues, sneaks into the Capulets' party. Here he sees Juliet, daughter of Capulet, and the two fall head over heels in love. Even though their families would never accept their union, they are more than willing to throw away everything to be together, having known each other for barely an evening. Indeed, Juliet says as much of their love. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. The sheer lack of care with which they pursue their romance is startling. Neither tries to find a way to reconcile their parents to the idea or even to flee the city. Instead, they hurriedly marry in secret. Paragraph 4. As the play continues, the drama of poor judgment unfolds. Juliet's cousin Tybalt goads Romeo to fight. Unwilling to fight a relative of Juliet's, Romeo refuses. The situation deteriorates further, eventually leading to Romeo's killing of Tybalt. Throughout these events, Romeo simply reacts in the heat of the moment. He is not guided by principle or clear thinking. The result is that he is forced to leave Verona in exile, a situation that sets up the final deadly outcome. Juliet is shocked when she hears of Romeo's exile. In another example of startling miscalculation, she chooses to fake her own death in order to escape to be with him. She does not even wait to make sure Romeo knows about her plan. At this point, the play proceeds with a cruel irony that ends with Juliet and Romeo taking their own lives. This play features numerous references to the stars, which symbolize destiny or the absence of human choice and control. These references seem to support the idea that Romeo and Juliet never had any influence over the path their lives would take. They were destined to meet and destined to die. Indeed, the prologue calls the two leads star-crossed lovers, meaning lovers doomed by the stars or destiny. Romeo suggests as much before he goes to the party where he first meets Juliet. I fear too early, for my mind misgives, some consequence yet hanging in the stars. When Romeo hears of Juliet's death, he cries out against fate, Then I defy you, stars. Yet she is not actually dead, nor is the situation controlled by the stars. Romeo does not know this, but the audience does. Juliet's death is not a result of destiny, but of her own choices. Despite some instances of pure ill fortune, most of the tragic events are the result of Romeo and Juliet's youthful decisions and haste. In short, Romeo and Juliet were not the victims of destiny. Instead, the two stumble into their own tragedy. Rather than suffering inevitable doom, they made fatal mistakes. The stars may shine above the events of this play, but that is not the true reason for the tragic outcome.